What's up, everybody? Let's get at it right now. This is crazy. We're talking about Pastor Marvin Sapp of Chosen Vessel Church in Fort Worth, Texas. Remember, he's a gospel singer as well. He was best known for songs like Never Would Have Made It, The Best in Me. The brother was at a Christian conference this past week, and this is where all hell has broke loose, because in that conference, I think it was a conference that was attended by over 4,000 people. At one point in time, he said, stop everything and close the doors. He said, ushers, close the door. He repeated it several times as he went on to say, I need y'all to break off some money, 20 bucks here and there. We need $40,000 campaign that he was pushing for. Now I'm saying to myself, why would he be asking for $40,000 for them to help pay for this conference? Or it appeared that way to me, when the people that were in attendance of this, that attended this conference, didn't they already pay a fee to attend the conference? That's where it makes you kind of scratch your head. But he got raked over the coals through social media. People were calling him out, making all type of memes about it. And I've got lots of clips to show you, but I just find it interesting, because this is why people tend to want to leave the church, particularly men. This is why we say we're fed up with the church, we're fed up with the BS, because you have these preachers who are driving luxury cars, living in nice homes. They've got a wad of money in their pocket. When Marvin Sapp said to everybody to take out their money, he took out some money as well and had a wad of money in his hand. Preaching is making you some money, I guess, these days. And so we see the prosperity preachers, we see the jack-a-leg preachers, and we're just tired of it. We see the Al Sharptons, he's making money and doesn't even have a real church, right? We've seen people like Jamal Bryant, who's got caught up in scandals with messing around with the females in his church, right? We got the Creflo Dollars, who had the nerve to ask his church for $65,000 to donate money to him in the cause of buying a new jet plane, because he's flying all over the damn world. Okay, we got TD Jakes, who is living lavishly, huge church, lots of money, right? And so I think when people see this with our own eyes, and then we hear preachers asking for people to give money and saying, close the door, I think it allows people to have pause and say, okay, is the church really about saving people, or is the church really about grifting on people? And when I just got to break this down, because this is a big problem right now. People were on social media in the titles of their videos saying that he said lock the doors. That's not true. If you go back and look at the video again, he said close the doors. It still was an uncomfortable situation. And what happens is that because black people have been religiously oriented to Christianity and various religions, when you have people praising God, you got them in this spiritual worship, and now you ask them for money, it's almost like you guilt trip them from a spiritual level, because you're already in there praising God and what have you, and using things out of the Bible to justify why you're asking for that money. And you're really, I think it's more traumatizing to black people again, because ever since we got here off the slave ship, they've been indoctrinating us with all sorts of things, and Christianity was one of them. Realize that the first Bible that was introduced to black people was the Negro Bible that was deducted, was deleted, and things were taken out to make us think that we're supposed to be slaves. And realize we've got Sunday as a day off for worship, because that's what they gave the slaves, was a day off out of the plantation, and then they were indoctrinated with the Negro Bible, or the Bible that was deleted of information to make black folks think that they were meant to be slaves. This is where the religious orientation has hold on black people. Let's listen to Marvin Sapp, Pastor Marvin Sapp's video, because I want to clear a few things up. He didn't say to everybody, he didn't say ushers close, he said close the doors. He didn't say lock the doors. And there's a reason behind that, because I've got a video by Smiley breaking down why that is. I still am skeptic of these preachers today. I think in some ways, as they have helped black people over the years, in some ways they have also hurt the community, especially when they're constantly trying to get money out of our pockets. And you got black folks out here that are dealing with bills, all sorts of financial strains on them that go to church. Check this out.
They understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close.
Right there, you can clearly hear that he's saying, close the doors. Do not. He didn't say lock the doors. Now, Ricky Smiley said that this is commonplace in the church, that when you're about to do tithing or you're about to pass the collection plate for money, that you close the doors to make sure everything is secure. But it did come off a little weird to people. Let's continue, everybody. Let's continue.
The doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
Now, he said that right there. Y'all not going no place but to the restaurant. Do you find that sort of condescending that he would say that type of statement? Because, look, black people, people in general, we have the right to spend our money wherever we please, even after we leave worship. Now, this was a Christian conference, and I'm saying again, didn't they pay money to support this conference by paying money and registering for it? Somebody out there, correct me out there if you know different. Let's continue.
There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight.
So as you can see, he's trying to collect $40,000. Another thing that I want to bring to people's attention, I work with people that are art therapists, music therapists, because I work in therapy and mental health. I notice they've got the organ playing in the background. That's another way to remember, music is the only thing that can enter your self-conscious mind without your permission. And not to get biblical here, but didn't they say that that was one of the gifts that Satan had, was music? And I notice as he's talking, you've got that organ music, that traditional church music in the background that black people come to be used to. And that's also psychologically playing on people as he's asking for this 40 grand, this 40K. And the whole setup, I think, can be a little intimidating because you're in church, you're feeling like you're guilt tripped, and you may give money, your last $20 that you really can't afford to spend. And I bet you there's people in the audience that went to this Christian conference and probably spent money that they shouldn't have spent to make this conference, because the whole thing is about giving praise to God. But you've got these preachers that stand out amongst the crowd and are always asking, gimme, 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 gimme. It's just my opinion. Let's get back.
I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date.
I can see what he's doing there. He's equating $20 with a good date. So he's basically, in a nutshell, saying to everybody, hey, everybody, if you're spending $20 on your date with your girlfriend, your wife, your significant other, then it shouldn't be no sweat for you to bust off this $20 for God, for the church, for the Christian conference that they probably already paid for to attend. This is how, in my opinion, you have jack-o'-leg preachers who use religion to what I would call spiritually, listen to me now, spiritually pimp our people, black people. And it's just that I'm not saying that Marvin Sapp is a shyster or grifter. I don't know that much about the man, but I do know that this situation didn't look too good. And this is why he got hit over the coals, and he's now given a statement to rebut what people are saying about it. And I'm going to read his statement because he's doubling down and saying that he would do it again, that he would shut those doors down, not lock them, but shut them down. Or no, not shut them down either. Let me be correct myself. Close the doors to continue on. He would do it again. Let's get back to this.
Take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws.
You see, he's acquainting this with a date with your significant other. But Marvin Sapp, how do you know that people that's in that conference right now, man, spent maybe their last $20 or spent money to go there, to travel there, drive or whatever, money that they should not have spent? Look at what's going on in our world today. Food is still expensive. Even under Trump, shit is going up high. Everything's expensive. People struggling out here, even if they put on their Sunday's best. Let's continue.
I wasn't cheap. That's swag. I was looking in her eyes. She's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here.
Boom. Did you hear what he just said, everybody? It costs to set up here. What is he saying? Has church become more about money than more about saving lives spiritually through God's word? Has it become more about the production value? You got these preachers out here that are dancing on the stage. They're twerking on the stage. They're putting on a whole BET show on stage. You even got preachers out here jumping on trampolines in the air, you know, and acting a fool. Everything is theatrics. How about good old fashioned, the word of the Bible, and trying to save lives out here? And then what is the activism that's going on in the church to get out here on these streets, like Dr. King, for example, and do the work on the street? Church is not in the 4 walls of a building or a church temple. Church is in every street out there in the world, okay? And last time I checked, when Jesus was alive, he wasn't running around in churches. He was out there with the pimps, the whores. He was out there feeding the sick and taking care of the sick and feeding the hungry. These churches have gotten way out of control today, and the black church, in my opinion, has lost its true mission, which is why people are disappearing. You don't see you're seeing young people move away from the church, and we know that black men have moved away from the church to a certain degree. Some, not all. We know that the church is usually filled up with mainly black women, who a lot of these preachers have in the past, like Jamal Bryant, preyed on the black women in these churches. Now, I'm not saying that Marvin Sapp is doing these things, but this is the reason why when people hear this, this is the stuff that makes us think about. It makes us think about all the things that we don't like about preachers in church. Let's get back to this.
Got you. Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you.
You see the pressure that he puts on everybody. He's talking about put your 20 away because he tells people that the preachers up here have paid even more money because it costs to be up here. You hear what he's saying? So it's another way to guilt people, black people, psychologically, because by saying, hey, your little $20 ain't that much money for you to give because the preachers up here have paid more money to this situation because it costs to be up here. It costs to be the boss. Let's get back to it.
And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm going to have y'all come to the altar and give it because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk.
Bring them baskets.
Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the.
This is the reason why people are having distrust of the church, particularly the black church and black preachers, because I think people are traumatized psychologically by the fact that we just saw Creflo Dollar a few years ago ask his church or his congregation to buy him a new plane, $65,000 plane. And this is why we are skeptical of what goes on in these churches. Let me let you let you see this right here. Check this out.
$1 million. The head of the World Changers megachurch in Atlanta asked for the donations in this almost 6-minute video, dubbed Project G650, as in Gulfstream 650. Dollars already a high flyer.
We're about to land in Nairobi, Kenya.
But it seems his current jet, built in 1984, is showing its age. Engine trouble on a flight to Australia, and more recently, when his wife and daughters were taking off from London, it went off the runway.
It's not like a car where you can pull over on the side when something goes wrong. And I knew it was time to begin to believe God for a new airplane.
It didn't take long for the story of the Jesus jet, as some have dubbed it, to take off, and not in a good way. This woman is a former parishioner. She showed up Sunday to protest, but got told to leave church property.
I didn't have a jet when I was here, and now he has one, and he's asking for another one.
See, do you see what I'm saying right there? Here's a situation where you have a black woman, in this case, who says she starts questioning why Creflo Dollar needed a plane. And look what they did to her. They kicked her out of the church. They escorted her out the doors. Is that Christian-like? Why should she not? Why shouldn't she question authority? Didn't Jesus question authority? See the hypocrisy of why people, young people and older people who have been around the block have said, I've had enough of the dealing with the church. This is what we're talking about here. This is crazy.
But parishioner Mary Jones, who takes the bus to church, says she'd happily give to Dollar's jet drive.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We support our pastor. That's what we're here for.
$1 million.
No, you're not here. This is just, hey, this is a side note, everybody. You're not. You're here to give praise to God, to learn the Bible, to be a better person, and what have you. Your job is not to serve the preacher. The preacher is driving around or flying around in a plane or fancy cars while you're catching the bus, my sister. This is the reason why I think people were triggered by Marvin Sapp asking for that money in the way he did, because we're thinking about the trauma that other preachers have already brought to our minds with their nonsense as well. Back to this. And look at that. See that? He puts out a wide of money. Look at all that money. Now, look at all that money. To me, this is also to me a slap in the face, because there's people out there who probably were given their last $20, or maybe we're going to give the $20 that maybe they really needed to keep. And then he sits up there and pulls out a wad of money like he's a big player, like he's a baller. And once again, are these preachers, these jack-o'-leg preachers, are they really serving the black community? Are they really serving black people? Wait till I bring up some stats here to show you exactly how much money a lot of these black churches. Now, I'm talking about the prominent black churches, the mega black churches. Certainly there are black churches out there that ain't rolling in money like this, but you need to see these numbers I'm going to put up in a minute. Let's get back to this right now.
Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship.
Now, the manipulation again, folks, is that giving money to the church is worship. Where in the Bible? Now, I don't confess to be a expert on the Bible, but I want somebody watching this video to make a comment in the comment section of this video, if you can. Where in the Bible does it say that giving money is worship, when you're supposed to worship God, I thought, right? Or are you supposed to worship Jesus, I thought? Isn't that supposed to be worship enough? Why would God need our money? Money is a currency that humans came up with. God don't need no money. Jesus don't need no money. But why would that be worship? Haven't you heard people say that money is the root of all evil? And I'm going to say it again. Didn't these people already pay for this Christian conference? I'm just asking the question. Let's get back to it.
Giving is worship.
Giving is worship.
Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk.
Do you agree with what he's saying right here, that giving is worship?
Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. That's
so right there, you can see the spiritual, I think, peer pressure, right? From a preacher on stage saying that giving is worship, and I need $1,000. I need 1,000 y'all to give up that money. And this is why Marvin Sapp got raked over the coal by some in social media. What I want to do is I want to put this up because I want to clear something up again, to be fair about this whole situation. Marvin Sapp ordered ushers to lock the church doors until the congregation gave $40,000. That's not true. And this is where it's not true. He didn't order the ushers to lock the door. He said, close the door, close the door. You clearly heard that in this video today, right? And because of that, people on social media had felt some kind of way. Here's a post. Marvin Sapp clearly hustling his congregation for $40K and using God's name to do it. He's calling for the doors to be locked. No, he said closed. But I understand how people feel about this. I feel some kind of way about how it was perceived. That's not faith. That's a shakedown and a false prophet. Someone had a bill to pay and it was not to the church. Now, I tend to agree with that right there, that there are people who probably spent their last money to go to that conference, right? Or maybe they were going to spend that money, maybe like he said, to go out to eat. Maybe that was the money that they needed to go get a meal after this conference. So again, why did they have to pay extra money if folks paid money to attend this conference? Churches are raking in a lot of money. Check this out right here, everybody. Black churches are estimated to collect and raise around $11.5 billion. Do you understand? Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you clearly hear what I'm saying, everybody? Churches are collecting, black churches are collecting billions of dollars annually. Black churches are estimated to collect and raise around $11.5 billion annually in tithings and offerings from their community. Here's more details and breakdown. The estimations vary, but here we go. While some sources suggested 11.5 billion, others indicate a range of 2 billion to 19 billion annually that black churches are taking in. Do you hear what I'm saying? These black preachers, the ones that are prominent, like a Marvin Sapp, a T.D. Jakes, a Jamal Bryant, a Creflo Dollar, maybe even a Al Sharpton, who don't even have a real physical church, but he's on television and he's always leading black people like he led black people to freaking Costco's as a protest when he should have led black people to black businesses, you see. You've got the church taking in all this damn money, but we still got black people suffering in these communities. And when you go into any black community, any urban setting in this country where black people live, you will see what? Usually liquor stores, churches, liquor stores, churches, liquor stores, churches. Let's keep it real. You got all these churches in the black communities and some urban black communities that have struggles, yet the same shit is going on. What are these churches doing? Now, let me correct something too. Not every black church is rolling in the money, right? I'm talking mainly about these black mega churches, these prosperity gospel pimps, church preachers that I'm sick of and have been for a long time. That's what I'm talking about. They're raking in the damn money. And then they want to lean on their congregations And there's some people in the congregation who might have money like that, and there's some that may be struggling. Let me read something to you, because Marvin Sapp did a rebuttal to everybody coming at him, and he justified it once again using the Bible and saying what it was all about and breaking it down to us. Let me read this to you step by step. He says right here, in response, let's add context to the clips on social media. Recently, a clip has gone viral of me challenging 2,000 individuals virtually and in person to plant a seed of $20 during a international gathering held at a convention center with over 4,000 people in attendance. That's even plus virtual viewers. In the same moment, I also challenged leadership to lead by example by sowing $100 that even I personally gave much more. You see what he's doing here. You see what Marvin Sapp is doing. I gave more money. I asked the preachers to give up more money. So your $20 shouldn't have been a big deal. To me, that's the hustle. To me personally, that's the hustle. And that's the spiritual pimping that I don't agree with, everybody. He says, that's even I personally gave much more. That's what Marvin Sapp is saying. Some have taken issue with the particular moment when I instructed the ushers rather firmly to close the doors during the offering to those unfamiliar with the church context or who may not regularly attend worship gathering. This has been a misinterpretation as handling people's hostage as well as offensive. So he's saying, hey, he ain't holding people no hostage. That was never my intent. The truth is, when finances are being received in any worship gathering, it is one of the most vulnerable and exposed times for both the finances and the security team. Moments during this secure exchange can be distracting and at times even risky. Why? What are you saying? It's risky. So you're saying you got criminals in the crowd, Marvin Sapp? You're saying that, oh, we got to secure everything because we got some criminals up in here already? I'm just asking a question, everybody. Y'all let me know. Okay, let me continue. It's risky. My directives was not about control. It was about creating a safe, focus, and reverence environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources. Unfortunately, in the social media age, snippets are easily shared without context and assumptions are quickly made without understanding the full picture. Conferences have budgets. Churches have budgets. Yes, and the people who went to your conference had already paid money for the conference. Am I correct or wrong? Somebody correct me. Okay? They have budgets. Churches have budgets. Of course they have budgets. And people have budgets. Yeah, they had budgets that maybe they probably couldn't afford to pay that $20 that day. Who knows, right? Check this out. As the assignment ministry gifts for the international gathering, one of my responsibilities was to help raise the conference budget. That's not manipulation. It's a stewardship. That's where he's coming from, Marvin Sapp. Here he is right here. Now, allow me to give you some biblical context, not opinion, the traditions, but the scripture. In 1 Corinthians 29, we find a powerful moment where David prepared for the building of the temple, challenging the people to give. He started by giving of his own treasures over and above what he had already set aside. Then he calls on the leaders to do the same. What happened next? The people gave willingly and generally. In fact, they gave much that a record was kept of each gift. Ultimately, David had to tell the people to stop giving because the need had been exceeded. The Bible says they gave gold, silver, bronze, and iron, right? Stone. Specifically, amounts were recorded not because God needed their money, but because the people needed to show their commitment to the vision and because the stewardship demanded accountability. Once again, what he's doing here that's very good is that you're quoting and you're using scripture to reinforce why you're justified for coming at the people in the way you did. The thing that kills me about preachers and churches is that they always try to make a comparison to people today to how people lived back then. It was a different time, different circumstances. You can't compare the two. We're living in different times, different circumstances today than they were living. So there's always, as much as they can quote the Bible, there's always something lost there because we're not living in those times. Because I can make the argument that maybe the church was doing more for people back then, Marvin Sapp, than you guys are doing for people today. Maybe when Jesus walked the earth, they were actually helping people because they were out in the damn streets and the temples. While you guys are running around in your fancy cars, your fancy suits, and you even bragged about how you gave more money to justify what you did. It's just my opinion, everybody. Let me know what your thoughts is about this. Let's go over here and hear what this lady is saying about this. This is her opinion. You're going to hear from some of the people on social media who feel some kind of way about the situation. Once again, Marvin Sapp is trying to justify his situation. Let me put this up here, right here, for you to see. Marvin Sapp breaks his silence about why he kept church members hostage until $40K was raised. So he broke his silence, expressed himself about the situation, but I just want to let you all hear this right here. Check this out.
You know what I think is sad is how these pastors just pimp the pulpit. Seriously. You got Marvin Sapp, who's preaching, and he's telling the congregation, everybody in there, that they need to raise $40,000 tonight. Told the ushers to close the door. Ain't nobody going nowhere. He said, all y'all gonna do is go to the restaurant, but we need y'all to come out y'all pockets again. They already collected once. We need y'all to come out y'all pocket again and
Did you hear what she just said? This is the part that I'm emphasizing. This woman said that these people already collected money from the people that attended this Christian gathering, this conference, that they already collected money from that. So now basically what you would call double dipping, maybe. They've already spent their hard worked money that they work hard for to go to the conference. And now you want to use the weight of the Bible and the weight of your celebrity as a well-known pastor who was also a gospel singer, and you want to use the weight of that to put on the people and say, well, you know, the preachers up here paid $100 it cost to be up here, and by the way, I even paid more. Yeah, we saw that, Marvin. You had a wad of money that you pulled out of your pocket, almost like how a pimp pulls money out of his pocket. But, you know, there's a lot of people that been involved in pimping that are in the pulpit as well. I'm not saying that Marvin Sapp is. I'm just saying that there's a correlation to it, because what do pimps do? They manipulate and they use people. And there has been that sort of vibe with the black church with these damn preachers, which is why people are trying to get away from the church instead of going towards the church. This is the shame of it today.
we need to raise up $40,000. I don't know why they keep playing. This has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with Jesus. I am so sick of these punk ass pastors just doing some of the stupidest shit. It's crazy. And then you wonder why people don't go to church.
Right.
That reason right there. That reason right there. That has nothing to do with Jesus. That's simply greed. What is wrong with y'all? Oh my God, out of all.
Do y'all agree with her? Is she hitting on all cylinders? Is this woman hitting on all cylinders? Do y'all agree? Woo!
The bullshit that we going through right now in the United States of America, you got the nerve to sit up there and ask people who work hard for their money to come out more money because you need to raise $40,000 for whatever.
What do you think about what she's saying, everybody? This is, I gotta say, telling the truth.
These people can barely pay their goddamn light bill. And here you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all play too much. Y'all play too much. This has nothing to do with God. It has nothing to do with God. It's just, I mean, what is this? It's like they just really pimping people. You know what I'm saying?
Preachers, pimps in the pulpit. I want to ask this fundamental question. What's the difference between preachers today, these prosperity preachers in particular? You know them by name, the Cleflo Dollars, TD Jakes. What's the difference between these preachers today and the pimps that used to walk the streets back in the day and make their money off of women selling themselves? I'll wait for those questions in the comments section.
That's horrible. I can't believe I can't believe he did that. I can't because you got people in the congregation that are just going to believe this man because he sang some songs and he shout and he can make his voice go up and down.
She's talking about the fact that this man had a Marvin Sapp had a recording career, or has a recording career, the Never Would Have Made It gospel song, and the Best in Me has been, that's and he's now doubling down and saying, hey, this is why I did what I did, and he used biblical scripture to reinforce why he did what he did.
And they will believe this man, and they will go into their pockets and give, and they can't even fucking afford it. You know what? I'm done.
Woo. Everybody, she's telling the truth. Let's hear this brother right here give his opinion.
Close the doors, ain't nobody leaving until we get $40,000 tonight. And then he said, shh, this ain't the time to be talking. Giving is worship. Told the preachers to put their money up. He said it was for the people, the congregation, online and in person. I told my wife they would have opened the doors for me because they was going to kick me out. I would have went viral up in that church that day. Because I don't have a problem with tithing or giving. Matter of fact, I do it freely anyway. But you're not going to demand me. You're not going to tell the ushers to close the doors. Say we not even until we get $20,000. And I ain't gonna lie, when I seen people talking about it and reacting to it, I was like, maybe they just overreacting. And then I seen the actual video of him demanding and forcing these people to get his money. And I was like, who is he talking to? Like, the audacity.
Do you agree with this brother right here? Wow.
Of him to like go about it this way. But I'm genuinely curious. So if any church goer or preacher, anybody in the church, like I really want to know, what does a church need that much money for? Like what does the money that you receive from the tithes, the offerings, the donations, like where is it going to? Is it in?
That's $1 million question. I told you already that these churches are taking in billions of dollars annually, $11.5 billion annually. Some believe that it might be $2 billion annually. Some also believe that it could be $19 billion annually. We're talking about the prominent churches. I'm not talking about the small churches that ain't really getting any money. I'm talking about the ones that are prominent, that you know about. What the hell are they doing with that money? And black people are, and this is the thing about it that's crazy, everybody. Black people are struggling out here. And what the hell is the church today doing when we got black young men, young ladies out here struggling in some cases? What are they doing? I want somebody to answer that question. Let's continue.
Invested into the church? Is it invested into the people of the church, the community? Right. Like where? And don't get me wrong, I know that the church is technically, when you break it down, it's a business. They got bills.
Right. It's a business. They got bills. But another thing, let me correct something that I said. I'm not saying that there's no churches out there that's not doing good work in the community, but these mega churches, the ones that get the headlines, what are they really doing tangibly that we can see that's benefiting us as a people in today's time? Let's continue.
It got to be paid and things like that. But from the outside looking in, especially these big churches, a lot of people look at them just like they money hungry. Like, cause I don't know. We can make a whole different video about this.
Mm-hmm. Here's the next clip right here, y'all.
Pastor Marvin Sapp, I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized by your approach. But you know what? I'm not surprised. I can remember being so in church like that, giving everything every time the preacher asked for anything. I did it for 20 years. For 20 years, I was a part of a church that I gave. Been to places where they have locked the doors and was just so out of touch with reality to even know that you're being bamboozled, run amok, led astray, wink, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you trying to, and then he got the nerve to pull out his money, like it's not gonna, like you ain't getting the money.
Let me stop there. Did not read in his statement that he put out on social media. I think that was a statement that he put out on Facebook where he said the pastors that were on the stage with me paid $100. I'm asking you only for 20. I paid a substantial amount of money. Wasn't that sort of theatrics by him taking out all that money out of his pocket? It was theatrics, in my opinion, to give that look that, hey, I'm paying more money. Look at all this money I got. 2, I got all this damn money and I'm paying a lot more than all of y'all. So come on now. This is all shaming tactics, manipulation. And this is just my opinion about it. Okay. Because remember, he said, hey, it costs money to be up here. So these are the tactics that you see that go on in church to pressure people. And it's been going on for a long time. I call it religious pimping. What do you call it? Let's get back to this.
Come on now. You he gonna pull his money out, but it's going to him. I know mega churches are a whole lot different. I wasn't a part of a mega church, but those same tactics were used, and it was okay. Just like you heard the people in the congregation when he made the suggestion and the little joke about you ain't gonna do nothing but go out to eat anyway, go to the restaurants, and everybody ha ha ha.
Crazy.
I can so remember being a part of that. I would have laughed too. Goodness, I'm so thankful for freedom. I am so thankful for being out of bondage, which a lot of times the bondage can be the black church or just church period.
Did you hear what she has just said, everybody? She's saying that sometimes the bondage could just be the black church that's creating the problems for you. When the black church should be a sanctuary, a place that you can heal spiritually, right? A place where you shouldn't have to be concerned about, are they going to grift me today? And then the church has to be, in my opinion, more transparent. They've got the nonprofit status, which means they don't get taxed. They're taking in money. And you should be able to see what they're doing. When Jesus walked the earth, because this is what the church is going to tell you, he fed the hungry. He clothed the naked. You saw people saw tangibly what these individuals were doing in biblical times, which is why they had no problem with probably giving bronze, silver, and gold. Black people today are being asked to give to the church or give to these mega churches, and you ain't really seeing what benefiting you too. You're not getting the spiritual benefits that they're getting. I showed you that other video about Klepto Dollar asking I never say his name right, asking for a jet plane. And you had a black woman, she's catching a damn bus to get to church. This man is driving in luxury and flying all over the world at the expense of black people who are getting on buses because they're probably living, she probably can't afford to buy a car or something. Let's get back to this.
Evangelicals, but Lord have mercy. Marvin Sapp, what you need everybody to give you 40 grand for? Then you just make an R&B album? It ain't selling well? Bye, y'all.
Ooh, she said, didn't you, Marvin Sapp, just make a R&B album? Is it selling well? Or maybe it is selling well, but it must be that money he still got to get his hands on. Look, I understand that tithing is something that goes on in church. I understand that preachers are going to ask for church members to support the church. I get it. But these mega churches and these mega preachers, man, sometimes I feel like they got some nerve. But let you hear what Ricky Smiley said at the Ricky Smiley show. Now, he said that Pastor Marvin Sapp will be on his show this upcoming, I think he said Monday. So be on the lookout for that one. And because everybody's going to clip it. I'm going to clip it. And he's saying that he understands people's being uncomfortable about it. But now Ricky Smiley, in my opinion, is doing damage control with what you're going to hear him say. And he's giving you a little bit of education about tithing and about why they closed the door. They didn't lock the door. They closed the door. But I still think he's doing damage control for Marvin Sapp. Let's get into it now. Check this out.
And just tell you why this bothered me. I understand everybody have an opinion on tithes and offering and how it was done. But here's the problem.
Here's the problem.
One thing I hate lies. And I hate liars. Y'all know damn well that man didn't say nothing about lock.
I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
It's a fact. He did not say lock the doors. Let's continue.
The word lock means don't let in, don't let out. Close means you can go out if you want. The pastor asks you not to go out. And if you choose to go out, you can go out. Or if you snatch the door and the ushers are at the door, you can go in. Okay? Y'all told a damn lie. You love to tear people down by lying on them and without clear context. Nobody from that church or that was in that.
Now, Ricky Smiley, he is correct that we do have to make sure that we have proper context when we go about criticizing individuals like Marvin Sapp. And that's why in this video, I did clarify that that was wrong, that he did not say lock the door. It still doesn't change the fact. I'm going to say it again. It still doesn't change the fact that it came out wrong. The look of it wasn't right. And people didn't like the way he came off in that whole situation with the pulling out his wad of money. It just did not look right. And to me, it is what's wrong with the black church in general and why people have stopped going. Particularly black men, which is why most of your black churches, you tend to have more black women than you have black men overall in these churches. But let's hear some more of Ricky Smiley. I think personally he is doing some damage control here, although underneath this damage control, he is making some subtle points that do have some facts to it. But let's continue.
Congregation complain. And every pastor that I seen and I talked to didn't have no issue with it. You took one clip and made whatever you wanted to make out of, which was a damn lie.
So what Ricky Smiley is doing here is he's justifying what Marvin Sapp did, Pastor Marvin Sapp did, by saying, well, the pastors didn't have any problem with it, and the congregation didn't have any problem with it because nobody said anything. Maybe nobody didn't say anything because maybe they were embarrassed to come out and really speak their mind. You just saw in that clip that I played about Klepto Dollars Church, where a black woman had something to say about him asking for money for a damn jet plane. And what did they do? They showed her the door. Now, I'm not saying that that's what Marvin Sapp was going to do to people, but you never know with these churches, these hierarchies that you have in these churches, how they would treat people who would have the audacity to question the pastor. Let's continue.
Lock is kidnapped. Close the door. And let me say this right here. And I said this on the radio show. This is what I said on the radio show. Stop lying on people. Stop talking. Look at all the blogs and all of the stories talking about he said lock the door. He didn't say no damn lock. You a lie. You a lying a dog.
See, what's happening is that Ricky Smiley is focusing on the whole lock the door when actually it's true. He said close the door, but he's not looking at the other side of why people got upset about the situation. And of course, he's going to reinforce his support of Marvin Sapp by going into the history of tithing and the history of why they closed the door, which I had already read off of Marvin Sapp's statement. Pastor Marvin Sapp. Let's continue.
And you're a dog for lying. I'm gonna follow y'all. I say you're a lie and you're a dog. And you just lied. For locking the door and closing the door. And let me add this. There are certain part of the church service that is sacred, where the doors are supposed to be closed. Tithes and offering, when someone is praying, when the pastor is taking his text, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, during a baptismal, but there are certain parts of the church service that sorry about that. There are certain parts of the church service that is sacred, and the doors are supposed to be closed. Hey,
there it is, everybody. Ricky Smiley supporting Pastor Marvin Sapp, giving his perspective on the whole situation. What is your perspective on the whole situation? I want to thank you for watching this video. Give me your honest opinions about this situation. Are we making too much of a big deal of it, or are we not making more of a bigger deal about it? What are your thoughts, and what is the state of the black church today in terms of those black churches that have the resources, not the ones that are poor, but the ones that have resources? What are they doing for the black community? Where is their activism? Where are they on the streets to stand with us? And when we have situations going on in this world, y'all do something for me. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, tell someone about the channel, tell someone that you love them. And I'm going to leave y'all with this clip as we get on out of here. Here we go. Once more to reinforce the whole situation. Y'all take care. Peace.
The cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
Close those doors.
It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm going to have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come.
Come. Y'all start moving. Y'all start moving. Ooh, did y'all see that, folks? Did y'all see what the man said? Take care, everybody. Peace. Thank you. And y'all have a great day, great evening and morning.